Dean Rusk disagrees with you, and he was the Secretary of State at the time, but that's fine.
The communist nations have exploited the turmoil of a time of transition in an effort to extend communist control into other areas of the world.
Thoughts on Dean Rusk and America's involvement in Vietnam? I know next to nothing about that.
Exactly.
Barack Obama's presidency was historic. Pundits said it, celebrities tweeted it, and the community organizer from Chicago was not shy about constantly bringing it up. And it was true. Over a decade after his inauguration, we are still living in his shadow. His history of economic decline, racial division, and terrorist appeasement is our present. The third term of his presidency under Biden makes him inescapable even long after leaving office. The Biden administration is extending his fundamental transformation of America. Its open borders, woke military, critical race theory, terrorist appeasement, and wealth redistribution are a continuation of Obama's war on our national sovereignty, on the middle class, on the family, and on free enterprise. From a new administration staffed with all his old people to the familiar economic misery that Americans thought they had left behind, it is as if the Obama administration never ended. And as the nation endures a third term of Obama, many wonder if it will ever end. His legacy of defeat abroad and division at home is all around us. From race riots to defeat in Afghanistan, from the war on the middle class to massive power grabs, we are not only still living out his history, but it's clear that we will go on living there until we break free. Obama made history, but not the way that the mainstream media would have it. The truly historic elements of his presidency were not his accident of birth and choice of racial identification, which a political establishment obsessed with identity politics told Americans would serve as a national atonement for racism. Now that his third term is taking place under an old white male figurehead, it is clearer than ever that identity is not history. The true legacy of Obama and Biden lies in the impact of their destructive radicalism on the country, not what box they checked on their census form. The community organizer from Chicago did not heal our racial wounds. Instead, he presided over a historically divisive era that reversed generations of improvements in race relations. But Obama did not just divide Americans by race, punish your enemies, but by gender. You know, there's a reason we haven't had a woman president before. By faith. They get bitter. They cling to guns or religion. By all the flavors of sexual identity and by every sort of identity politics. He broke America, and the fractures of our time are the aftershocks of his destruction. Obama powered a historic economic shift that took power away from workers and gave it to big tech, that took American jobs and shipped them to China, and that took jobs from black teenagers and gave them to illegal aliens. He oversaw a historic power slide away from America and to China, Russia, and the Islamic terrorists of the world laboring to build their caliphates. And under Biden, in Obama's third term, all of this is worse than ever. To understand the crisis of the Biden administration, we have to go back to its origins in the Obama administration. And that is exactly what Barack Obama's true legacy does. Barack Obama's true legacy grapples with the true history of a man who has produced multiple autobiographies along with an unending stream of articles and interviews without actually telling us his true goals and the true history that is driving him. That's why Barack Obama's true legacy meticulously traces his ideological origins with John Drew's Obama, the young communist I knew, and that of his signature policy with Trevor Loudon's The Marxist Origins and Goals of Obamacare. Barack Obama's true legacy draws on experts and researchers who lay out and break down the insidious means by which Obama's ideological affinity for radicals and contempt for America led him to betray our national security and Christians and Jews while making allies of Islamic terrorists. The book delves into the Islamic alliances that created a historical realignment with America's worst enemies, while betraying our national security in Stephen Coughlin's Muslim Brotherhood's penetration of U.S. under Obama, how Obama abandoned persecuted Christians in the Muslim world in Raymond Ibrahim's How Obama Enabled Persecution of Christians, and how he abandoned and betrayed Israel and Jews in Daniel Greenfield's Obama's Betrayal of Israel, and how Obama funded the murder of Israelis. In Benghazi Betrayal and the Brotherhood Link, Claire Lopez reveals the ideological agenda behind the infamous abandonment of our people in Libya. Jeff Nyquist's Obama's Russian Collusion tells the story of who was really colluding with Russia, and in 3 stunning essays, Robert Spencer expertly chronicles Obama's treasonous collusion with the forces of the jihad in Obama's enabling of jihad and stealth jihad, Obama's enabling of ISIS, and the Iran deal. Turning to the war on our border, Trevor Loudon's Obama's Illegal Marxist Immigrant Amnesty Movement and Matthew Vadum's Obama's Damage to Border Security expose Obama's role in the historic invasion of America. Joseph Klein's Obamagate, the coup attempt against President Trump, zeroes in on the historically unprecedented abuse of national security by Obama, while Daniel Greenfield's Obama's Enabling of Racial Strife and Domestic Terror digs into his role in the racist movements and race riots that tore apart America's body and soul. In An Ex-President's Post-Presidential War on America and Why Obama Should Have Been Impeached and Removed from Office, Joseph Klein sums up Obama's post-election plots and his abuses in office. And finally, Dov Lipman, a member of Israel's Knesset, takes on Obama's revisionist Promised Land, the dishonest manipulations of Israel's story, and its ideological poison. These experts, researchers, thinkers, journalists, scholars, and leaders have assembled a compelling history of Barack Obama's true impact on America, on Israel, and on the world. That impact is not past tense, it is present tense. Every one of Biden's executive orders, every illegal alien who crosses the border, every humiliating defeat on the world stage, every assault on the middle class, and every betrayal of our allies is a reminder that we are still living through the Obama nightmare. Obama's presidency was historic. This is its true history.